Hillside Middle School in Charlotte, North Carolina, started that September morning like any other. Students filing into classrooms, teachers greeting students by name, hallways bustling with early morning chatter. But by 9:45 a.m., everything changed. In room 114, Ms. Lauren Davis was halfway through teaching algebra when the classroom door suddenly swung open. A man stood in the doorway, tall, unsteady, and staring into the classroom with glazed eyes. He held something by his side, a dark, metallic object. A student sitting closest to the door noticed it first and whispered sharply, "He's got a gun!" Instantly, silence flooded the classroom. The man stepped inside slowly, quietly shutting the door behind him. He placed his finger against his lips, signaling the students to remain quiet. His movements were slow, deliberate, eyes scanning the frightened faces staring back at him. Ms. Davis tried to speak, her voice trembling slightly. "Can we help you?" she asked cautiously, attempting to keep her tone steady. The man ignored her question, mumbling something unclear under his breath as he walked carefully between the rows of desks. Students instinctively shrank away, frozen and terrified. At the back of the classroom, 12-year-old Haley Morgan sat quietly at her desk. Carefully, she reached down into her backpack and pulled out her cell phone, hands shaking as she dialed 911. The operator answered immediately. Haley whispered softly, "There's a man in my classroom. He has a gun. Room 114, Hillside Middle School. Please hurry." The dispatcher quietly reassured her that help was already on the way. Haley quickly slipped the phone into her lap, keeping the line open, her heart racing as the intruder paced silently in front of the chalkboard. Minutes felt like hours. Police cruisers silently approached the school, sirens off, lights dark. Officers moved swiftly into position, carefully surrounding the wing of the building where room 114 was located. Inside, the man continued pacing, occasionally glancing out the window. He hadn't made threats or demands. He just paced and mumbled incoherently, the weapon loosely gripped at his side. Outside, police received word from dispatch about the active 911 call from inside the classroom, a frightened child whispering updates from the back row. The school's intercom crackled softly, the principal's calm voice filling the building. "Code locked down. This is not a drill." The intruder froze at the announcement, eyes wide. He quickly moved toward the door, but by then, police had quietly taken position in the hallway. "Drop the weapon," an officer shouted firmly from outside the closed door. "We know you're in there. Drop it now and come out slowly." The intruder stared at the door for a moment, expression blank. For a tense few seconds, no one moved. Then slowly, he bent down and placed the weapon gently on a nearby desk. Hands raised, he stepped back toward the doorway and opened it slowly, revealing himself to the waiting police. He surrendered quietly without resistance. The weapon was later identified as a realistic-looking replica. The man, a former student who had struggled with mental illness, had returned to the school seeking something no one could clearly define. He never explained himself, nor made any direct threats. Yet the trauma he left behind lingered for students and staff. Thanks to Haley's courage and quick thinking, the police had responded swiftly. No shots were fired, no one physically harmed. But the scars from that morning remained. In the aftermath, Hillside Middle School strengthened its security and counseling services. But the memory of that quiet, terrifying call, a whisper from the back of a classroom, a voice shaking with fear, was something no student or teacher who experienced it would ever forget.